everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and right now I'm going to be talking about the newest Pixar movie, the one that's so close to reaching $1 billion at the box office, because that's very important for us to know for some reason. Inside Out 2. But before I get into it, I want to remind you guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and Twitch. Over on Instagram, I've been doing weekly reviews of The Acolyte as well as The Boys. And over on Twitch, I do a lot of gaming and the Life's Brick Wall podcast every Thursday night. Make sure you check out that. So, with all that out the way, Inside Out 2. So, this is obviously the continuation of the first Inside Out, which followed the emotions inside of the head of a young girl named Riley. You had joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. And it pretty much just had them going on an adventure where at the end they learned that it's okay to be sad sometimes. It's okay to smile. It's okay to be angry. And all your emotions mixed together to make you the person that you are. Don't ask why I did the voice like that. Don't ask me. I'm just having fun with this right now. But anyway, so the second one, Inside Out 2, follows joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust, who have been running a successful operation by all accounts. However, when new emotions show up, they aren't sure how to feel. They aren't trying to react, and they're thrust into a situation where now they have to save Riley's emotions and also learn new things that are practically similar to the first one. So, this is only an hour and 36 minutes long. Great running time, and it doesn't feel overly bloated. It doesn't feel too long. So I'm going to start from a particular place, which is, I'm going to start from somewhere I don't usually start from until I talk about the movie in general. I'm going to say that this movie is pretty much the first one, but with more emotions. And I don't quite even down to the climax of, oh, Riley's going to do a bad thing. Oh, but it's up to the emotions to get there just in the nick of time to stop that thing from happening and maybe get her to think differently. I mean, this one plays out a little bit differently, but it's still practically the same thing. And it's just it's obvious. It was obvious for me to see exactly what that bad thing Riley was going to do was. Trust me, when you see it in the movie, you're going to know exactly what it was. But now that I got that off my chest, I do want to say that this was a fun movie. You do got a lot of the returning cast. Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler, is it? Yeah, I think it's Amy Poehler is Joy, right? Yeah, Amy Poehler is Joy. And you got wow, you only really got two returning. Phyllis Smith as Sadness, and you got Lewis Black as Anger. But then you have some other you have some other new characters as well, or some some actors replacing other characters. Instead of Mindy Kaling, you have Liza Lapira coming in as Disgust, and instead of what is his name, Bill Hader, you have Tony Hale coming in as Fear. So those are new additions, and they do a good job. They do a good job as those characters. I would have liked to hear Bill Hader's take on Fear in this movie, but it is what it is. You have new characters joining the foray, joining the mix, such as Ayo Edebiri playing Edvi, Maya Hawke playing the de facto villain Anxiety. You have Adele XR couple. Oh, I cannot say that name. My friends, I cannot say this name. XR Chapolis playing Inui, which is also a name I can't pronounce. So I guess she's playing a character with the name of character. She's named, her name I can't pronounce, and I can't pronounce her character's name. But Inui. That's like boredom, basically. That's boredom. Let's see. You have what other emotion was there? There was I'm sorry, because I'm trying to find the cast list too, because the one I looked at, there like 5 people that were not in this movie. Let's see. You have Paul Walter Hauser playing Embarrassment. You have where's the other one? There was one more. There's ennui, uh, anxiety, which I already said. Maya Hawke played anxiety. Um, you had Ayo Edebiri as envy. I said envy, anxiety, ennui, and embarrassment. That was it. I thought it was more. I thought it was some more of them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so it was only 4 new ones. Okay, I'm looking at your poster. My bad, y'all. Bear with me. I'm just trying to make sure I get you this information the right way. So anyway, so you have that. They join in the fray, and so pretty much what happens. Riley is now. Let me jump into the real meat and potatoes. So like Riley is now like 13. She is going off to high school, I believe, soon, or she's doing her hockey thing, that she did in the first movie, and then the little Riley's First Date short film. And so she's going away to hockey camp, and she finds out a pretty interesting detail about her friends, and after she learns that, it kind of just sends her down the spiral. That's when the anxiety emotion takes over. And I got to be honest, I do like how they depicted anxiety, right? Because anxiety is kind of depicted as someone that tries to plan for every different thing. And when you're anxious about things, you do try to plan for many different things at the same time, much to your own detriment. And that's where the story kind of goes with Riley. And one of the things I like that they do with this movie as well is that they kind of hit at having a sense of self. So Riley develops a sense of self over the years because of how her emotions are and how she makes certain decisions and stuff like that. It's a very interesting concept because just sitting there, and I went to go see it with my daughters, of course. I started to think not just about them, but about myself and vice versa. I started to think like, wow, there was a point in time in my life where there was just emotions. There was just I was happy, I was angry, I was sad, I was fearful. I was just those things. Disgusted sometimes too, because that was the fifth emotion. I had these feelings and they were just that. But as you get older, those experiences that you have through those emotions and how you react with those emotions form who you are as a person. And I like that they dove into that. And it even still had joy being a little bit too hands-on by only allowing certain things to go into the sense of self, the I'm going to say little pond, which is very interesting how they display that too. But she takes just certain core memories and puts them down there and lets them build to her sense of self. So Riley's sense of self becomes, I'm a good person, I'm a good friend. It's just all the positive things that, of course, like I said, joy contributes to that. And then the things that's like lesser of her, like, oh, I broke a plate, or oh, I failed a test or something like that. She launches those things into the back of the mind so that you don't have to think about it. Basically represses those memories. And it's very interesting that it's a point in the movie where those things kind of those two plot points kind of coincide, kind of meet, and they do something interesting with that, which I don't want to spoil, but it should kind of be obvious with the way I was talking about it, and just with her just being with Riley herself being someone that's growing up, you would kind of see sense of self is something that evolves, and it's a very good message with that. Your sense of self isn't just one thing here. I go spoiling it. Your sense of self isn't just one thing. It's many things. And many things about every emotion, every feeling, every up, every down, every left, every right, every mistake, every success, every failure. It all contributes to who you are. And I like that little message there. I just think that was nice. In terms of other things about the movie, I know this is mainly a comedy. A lot of people thought the first one was funny. I thought it had a little bit good jokes. This one I found a lot more funnier than the first one. A lot funnier rather than the first one. There was a character in this that was kind of a Dora the Explorer parody. And that had me cracking up. It was a 2D animated character, which Um, and I just thought that was pretty cool. I like mixing different animation styles a lot. They had, and that character was so funny. Even my daughters have such a great time. They laughed out loud at that, and I can't remember the last time I heard them laugh out loud at the movie theater. I know, crazy, right? All the movies we've gone to see together. But this is one of the ones where they laughed, and I was like, wow, that joke really hit for y'all. Like that's amazing. Like, so it made me feel a lot better too, because I love when they laugh. It makes me happy. I like that thing. Parenthood talking, right? But anyway, and there was another character as well. And this is all like inside of Riley's mind. Inside of her vault, the vault inside. You know how they keep things like in the vault. Like, okay, this is my secret here. I'm gonna keep this locked in my head. Kind of like Finn did in Adventure Time. Tangent, but so it was like a video game character that she kind of had a crush on. And so in that character, so I'm not going to spoil that joke. That joke was hilarious to me. And then there was her deep, dark secret, which stayed until after the credits. There is a post-credit scene that reveals what her deepest, darkest secret was. And when you hear it, you will be shocked and surprised. That's what Riley's deepest, darkest secret is. What could it be? Only way to find out is to stay after the credits for Inside Out 2. I don't know why I did all that, but yeah, it's a post-credit scene in the movie. Yeah, and there's just so many, like the sarcasm part that you see in the trailer. That was pretty funny. There's a part where Joy completely loses her crap, like loses her mind. She goes a little crazy for a second, and that's a pretty interesting scene as well. Yeah, there's a lot, and there's one part that I did think was interesting as well is that they show anxiety started getting so wrapped up in trying to do things for Riley and control how she was and be the primary emotion, basically, that she basically causes an anxiety attack. And the way that they depict it from inside and outside of Riley's head is some of the better that I've seen. I know we've, in a lot of recent animated movies, a lot of recent animated family movies, we've gotten a lot of depictions of panic attacks. We've got our anxiety attacks, panic attacks, whichever one you want to call it. We've seen it in Puss in Boots. We've seen it in Puss in Boots is the most notable one I can think of right now. But there were a few other ones too that we've seen them in. And this one I think was really good because, of course, the animation on this movie was top tier. But I like the camera angles that they got in this, and the way that the animation kind of heightened a little bit, and kind of just how they showed it. My only gripe with that scene, though, is that her friends saw her having the attack, and they didn't rush over there to help her. Why does that make a difference? Because I feel as though when you have a friend, right? Even young kids know, even youngins know this. You have a friend, you see them over there shaking, sweating, breathing hard. You're not just gonna just stand there, Riley, are you okay? And mind you, it's not like they were like right next to her. They were like kind of like a little bit of a distance. Like they're here and Riley's here. So it's like, why didn't y'all just go over there, like pat her on the back, hold her, tell her, hey, breathe, hey, everything's gonna be like. They really didn't do anything, which I guess you could say, well, they're teenagers, they don't know to do anything. Maybe it's the first time seeing time. Maybe they don't know. I guess I don't know. I've never really like had like an anxiety attack, so to speak. In times that I have had a little bit of a anxiety or a panic attack, something like that, I've always been primarily alone. And I know that a lot of times when you have those, you are alone. But I feel like with her being in a situation with people around, that it should have shown the aspect of having people there. And although they did kind of make up for that when she kind of was able to, when the anxiety attack got resolved, they did make up for that by having her, you know what I'm saying, be honest about what was going on. And that's something I told my kids too after the movie. I said, yeah, if you ever feel like that, talk to me. Don't ever be afraid to talk to me. And they kind of did. They was like, hey, Riley, were you okay? She's like, no, I just, and she let out how she felt. And I thought that was very important. And even the first one did that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not okay. I'm sad because we moved and I don't want to be here. And I feel like I always have to be happy for everybody. I like that it encourages, like these movies encourage kids to talk about what's going on with you. Never be afraid to talk about what's going on with you because parents will listen. We will listen. We will hear you out. Always talk to your folks about what's going on. Your friends, your family, your trusted adult, talk to somebody about what's going on if you ever feel overwhelmed. So I like that these movies carry those messages like that. Let's see. Other than that, like this one, like I said, this movie has a lot of good jokes in it. It's a very nice adventure for the emotions to be taken to try to, stop anxiety and the new emotions from kind of just taking over and turning Riley into another person. And by that, you'll see what I mean when you see the movie. You'll kind of know what I mean when I say that. But overall, it was a good movie. I don't feel as strongly about it as I did with the first one. The first one kind of really did bring me to tears at one point. This one, it was like, I was like, oh, you almost got, it wasn't strong enough though, movie. Not today. But, I mean, it was still nice though. I mean, I'm not going to judge this movie by whether or not it made me overly emotional, waterworks and stuff like that. No, I'm not going to do that. But it didn't do that for me. But it was still nice. It was a nice movie. It's a very good, like I said, very great message about, you know what I'm saying, just being yourself, like, just growing up. It's a very good message about just what happens when you grow up. You know what I'm saying? And I can see how it will be relatable to a lot of people. Having my daughters grow up in front of my eyes, I watched this movie and I made sure just to have the conversations with them afterwards. Like, hey, listen, if you ever feel those things or, it's important, sometimes they say, well, what's anxiety really? Like, what is that? I was like, it's when, I was like, think about how it was in the movie. It's like, you just think so much and sometimes you get overwhelmed. I was like, when you get overwhelmed, I was like, it's very important that you talk to me, you talk to your mother, you talk to somebody about those things, like I just said moments ago. So this is a great movie, and I do encourage families to see it. It's very fun, it's bright, it's colorful. Like I said, great jokes, great message, all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get repetitive because I can't spoil anything. So, like I said, just on track to making $1 billion. They are anticipating it making $1 billion in about a week or two. So, shout out to this movie. Good job. Critically, this is doing very well. It has 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb. So far, this is the highest grossing film of the year. Gotta give you flowers, right? In terms of what my rating for this movie will be, I give this movie a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I felt like it was very repetitive of the first one, to be quite honest with you. One of the differences is that the other emotions came along, but I still felt like it was kind of repetitive of the first movie. And I haven't watched the first movie in a while, so it's crazy. I saw certain things like, wow, this is just like the first one. Wow, that's just like the first one. Okay, so they're doing that again. But they don't do it to the point where it's just like it's beat for beat. They do change things up, so it is different enough to be a different movie, but it kind of does do the same thing to the point where it's just like, okay, if you do a third one, you're definitely going to be doing the same type of story over and over again, or you're going to have to be Pixar's first PG-13 and up movie because, like, I don't know, like, but we'll see. But in terms of any type of continuation, we'll see about that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But right now, Inside Out 2 is what we're talking about. And this is a movie I give 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely do recommend it. Make sure you check it out in theaters now. Yeah, check it out. It's good. It's worth it. But yeah, that's all. I'm here longer than I thought I would be, as usual. But that's all I have to say, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Comment down below. Let me know, did you like this movie? Did you enjoy this movie? Do you have any ideas for Inside Out 3? Do you think that Inside Out 3 should be a more mature movie? Let me know. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, and Twitch. And until next time, you guys, be easy, stay breezy, take care of yourselves, and peace.